All right. Cool. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. We're a little bit, we're not in shambles. I'm not going to say that, but we're a little bit off kilter. Crystal is potentially going to be having a baby here in the next day or so. She's got some contractions going on. So we're letting her focus on that and just kind of be present and calm. And Hunter and I are going to try to do part of her job. We're going to try. We're going to see
Yeah.
how this goes.
Those of you who remember the last time Crystal took vacation, you know what that did to Paige and I and the efficiency of this entire agency. So we just want to ask for a little grace ahead of time. Paige and I are not as good at keeping this thing on the tracks as Crystal is. So yes, manifest goodness. That's right, Tom.
Yep.
And
Yep.
patience.
We are manifesting goodness. I did hit record, so we've got that going for us already. So we're gonna do the whole screen share and talk and do all the things at the same time. We miss Crystal, but we are so excited for her at the same time. Let me get this rolling here. All right. And we're going. Hopefully y'all can see this. Is it showing my slides yet?
Thumbs up. We're good. Loading,
Okay.
loading. There we go.
All right, this looks normal. Looks normal. Okay, all right. Well, happy Monday. Welcome to the second to last day of October. Tomorrow is Halloween. We've been having this discussion in our household of like, do kids go trick-or-treating on Halloween or on the weekend? So I'm curious how it is where all you live. I feel like in Weiser, where I grew up, we did it like on the weekend, but I don't know. It's hard to say. So I guess we're stocked up on candy for tomorrow anyway, just in case. And if no one comes, I have a whole lot of candy I can eat. So it's a win-win either way. But again, happy Monday, happy Halloween Eve for those that are pumped for that. I'm Paige Durgan here with my fabulous husband, Hunter Durgan. That's Boji. For anyone who doesn't know him, you got to know him. He's worth knowing. He's over here on the couch glaring at me. So let's start the day off with what are we grateful for? I'd love to just hear that or read that, I guess, in the chat. So just a thing or two, what you're grateful for. And I posted this in Discord on, I think it was Saturday morning. I was reading about gratitude, in fact. And I was reading in this book, John Maxwell, the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, I believe is what it's called. He was actually discussing gratitude in a way that I hadn't ever really thought of it before. And he was saying that, you know, those who, and actually this came from the Chinese proverb, those who drink from the well or drink the water must always be grateful to those who dug the well. And what that means is, you know, no one is entirely self-made. Every accomplishment that we've had, everything we've been able to do has been because of the work of somebody else before us for everything, right? So taking that to a whole other level of thinking, what have I been able to accomplish and what am I grateful for in that? Right. I'm grateful to the people that created the internet to be able to do this, right? To be able to communicate with all of you all over the country here this Monday morning. I'm grateful to the person that created the computer to be able to do this business from home in my sweatpants on a cold Monday morning. I'm grateful for the ability to have clean drinking water, to have clean, healthy, nutritious food. It could go on and on and on. But really thinking about what have we been able to accomplish, what's available to you now because of the hard work and dedication of somebody else before you. It really has no end. Hunter, anything to add on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think those are all great points, Paige. And one thing that I think often gets lost when we discuss gratitude, as when we discuss, you know, loyalty, commitment, a lot of these values that a lot of us hold dear, we tend to externalize that. I am grateful for Paige. I am grateful for Tom. I'm grateful for what it's things externally that have impacted our lives and made them better. And one thing I would encourage everybody to think about this week is the gratitude that you show yourself day in and day out, and the gratitude that you show yourself for what you have achieved to get you to this point, the gratitude that you show yourself for, you know, the ability and the joy and just the effect that you bring into the world. I'm not doing a great job elucidating this, but you know, I think it is very important, as with loyalty, to extend that to ourselves, because when we only show gratitude to others, again, that while that's extremely valuable, it tends to minimize, I think, the great things that each and every one of you do for yourself day in and day out.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at the chat, seeing what folks are grateful for. Yeah, 1 year anniversary to Mama Margot officially yesterday. Congratulations there. Grateful to have you here for the full year already. Lisa's grateful for warm tea on a cold morning.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Lisa, second that one.
Ariel's grateful for family and health. Tom and Justin are grateful for us. Thanks, guys. Grateful waking up able-bodied and minded, and grateful for family, that your family's healthy, Alex. Absolutely. Yeah, it's the practice of gratitude changes a lot. It changes you a lot. It changes as you go, right? As far as what you focus on throughout the day. And that's the big thing here. We're reading this book with the team huddle, the Ziller team huddle, about manifestation. And a big part of manifesting, right, positivity and great things into your life is appreciating them as they come. So we love this practice. This is huge. Make that a point every day to just think about a couple of things that you're grateful for, and it's going to train your mind to focus on that for the rest of the day. Announcements, Hunter.
All righty. So upcoming fall blitzes. We are 2 days away from November. So we've got upcoming in Nashville, Tennessee, and Orlando, Florida, both on November 9th. Dallas on November 11th, and Salt Lake just added on November 18th. So, as always, if you're close, if any of your people are close to any one of these cities, strongly encourage you to take the time, make the trip, go associate. We're going to talk about this in a little bit more detail later on in this call, but get yourself in the room with the people who are going to enable you to just really take your business to the next level. Live corporate overview happening on, what would that be, Wednesday in Indianapolis with agency owner Tom Ellison and agency director David Whiteman. So if you're in the Indianapolis area, definitely encourage you to get in the room with those guys. If you've never been around Tom in person, man, his enthusiasm is absolutely infectious. And I know this will be a really great experience and an opportunity to share this business with anybody who can make that happen. Mm-hmm. Natasha Washington dial training every Monday at 4:00 Eastern. That'll be in the Miller Zoom office. Strongly, again, encourage you, if you're new or if you just need a little bit of a refresher, hop in with Natasha, hear what she's saying. She trains dialers all around this company and has just some amazing insight into mostly the psychology of how this works and why we say things the way we do. And it really helps to put the script that we all use into a little more context. She also takes live questions. She focuses on a different area of the script every week. So it's just a great opportunity, again, for a little bit of a refresher. And then lastly, if you are a brand new agent, please send your picture to Crystal. There's her number there. We will be making sure that we get that up on the leaderboards as you start to hit those. So that's our announcements for this week. Paige, anything else to add there?
No, I'll just add that the dial training, I think we're going to try to get onto it today. That's something Crystal's going to be doing moving forward, is also streaming it in the Discord office or workroom. I changed it to workroom since that's just open for us to be able to use and dial and run appointments and all of that in Discord. So we are going to be live streaming her training in there too. So you don't have to get on Zoom. You can just pop over to the workroom and that'll be there. But definitely worth being on, whether you're a seasoned agent here, whether you're brand new, just getting into dials, whether you haven't even gotten to the dial part yet, if you're not even licensed. It's just really good to be able to hear, because I mean, I listened to her dial trainings that were recorded back when I first started over and over and over again until I felt like I had this thing down. She's amazing. She's trained like thousands of agents. She's ran multiple call centers. She knows what she's doing. So like Hunter said, get in there, make sure that you're using the resources available to you, because it will make you better faster. And that's what we want. That is what we want. So we are in our first week of November. I know it's still October. The way that Symmetry looks at it, so when they're showing promotions, when they're showing leaderboards, Symmetry closes out the month on the last Friday of the month. So technically Friday was the last day of October. Now, with that being said, when carriers are closing down their business for the month and sending in information for snapshot, which basically just shows where you are with your promotions and where you are with just business issued, that goes until the actual end of the calendar month. So I say that to say, technically in Symmetry Land, October ended on Friday. But if you have business that issues and you get paid on it by tomorrow, it'll still count for your promotion in October. So keep that in mind. We're working everything that you submit from now on until Friday the 24th is going to be considered November business. But if you have business that issues and you get paid on it by tomorrow, it's going to count in October. So use that to your advantage. Americo is a great carrier to write right now. If you're like gunning for those last little things you need for promotions, that's a good carrier to write. They count everything, whether you write it tomorrow or you write it today and you get paid later in the week, doesn't matter. Americo actually still counts it for the month that you wrote it in. So keep that in mind. Little hacks, little like tricks of the trade here to make sure you're getting your promotions. We want to get you paid more on the business you're already writing. That's the exciting thing about here. So happy week 1 of November.
All right, we got the 10K APV and a week prize. You can see Mama Margot and Mr. Boombastic have already received theirs. Just a little acknowledgement of the hard work that goes into putting in $10,000 in production in 1 week. So challenge out to everybody. Who else is going to get their picture, get their prize, be the next one up on this 10K in a week list?
Shooting for the cube. All right. Congratulations to our social media queens and king. The contest we were running for the last 30 days has come to an end. I'm still posting I'm still sharing when I post on social media. The whole goal of this was to create habits. And those of you on this list that did this certainly created a habit. So congratulations to our queens. Ibel Wood, Cassidy Salih, Robin Belt, Margaret Jensen, and myself are posting every single day for 30 days. I know in this list, Cassidy and Robin both have people in pre-licensing, I believe, that are like from warm market. So that's huge, right? You're using the resources available to you, the free social media platform that we have, and you're growing your business. So congratulations to those of you that did that. Our king is Brandon Russell that did it every single day as well. Runners up, Tom almost got it every single day. Kathy almost got it every single day. And same with Andy. Again, you did have to post in Discord every day so that Crystal could track this. There will be little prizes sent to each of you that did achieve this if it hasn't arrived already. Congratulations. Keep this going. Keep that habit rolling. This is how some of the biggest agencies in the company have continued to just get bigger and bigger without spending any money on recruiting, without spending a lot of money on leads once you get this going. So it's a great resource. Get in the habit of using it. No better way to get good at it than to start. So congrats, you guys. Awesome job.
All right, a little reminder about the Ignite conference coming up February 6th through the 8th in Dallas, Texas. That'll be the Miller organization and the Brad Smith organization, two of the top producing groups in Symmetry. Great opportunity to, again, associate, be able to hear from some of the best in the business and just carry your business forward. Nice little refresh, right? So you don't have to wait a whole year for conference to come around again. So we are definitely excited to see all of you there. Let your upline know if you are looking for a ticket. There are several owners packs out and about in the agencies. So let your upline know if you're looking for a ticket. We'll make sure to get you set up. And we're excited to see all of you in Dallas.
Yeah, they're sold out. So you have to go through an owner's pack, which just means that we bought some like pre-sale tickets to be able to offer to our team so that we could have seats there. So that's the only way to get them now. So let us know. Yeah, Dallas, Texas. I've never actually like gotten to see much of Dallas. I've been there once or twice maybe, but only to a hotel and back. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool to see this conference in February, be there around all of these people. It's not as big as national conference, but it's bigger than our little team here. So great opportunity for association. Some of the best speakers in Symmetry are going to be there. And we're going to be learning from the best of the best. So yeah, excited.
Fun fact, Paige, wasn't coming back from Dallas, wasn't that the first time in your life you ever missed a flight?
No. It wasn't. It wasn't. But I did miss the flight, yes. Our weekend warriors, congratulations to our two riders, Chris Crosby and Victoria Loria. Ms. Loria with 1,000, almost even, Vic, 1,000.32 APV. Chris with 648 APV. I do know Zach Larson also submitted business yesterday, I believe it was. I didn't see it posted in Discord yet, so that's probably why he was missed here. But congratulations, weekend warriors. It's nice to just kind of have your little weekend, do your thing, and also protect some families at the same time. Adds a little bit of sweetness to the days off, if you will. And that's the cool thing about this business is you can do it from anywhere, whenever, when people are available, when you're available. You can work it on the weekends, you can work it in the evenings, you can work it traditional 9 to 5. It's up to you. That's how cool this is. So congratulations, you guys. Nice work.
And then our 100 Family Challenge for 2023. We have about 2 months left of this, so I think we can get a couple more names on the board. But we've got Morgan DeLallo with 21 families protected this year, Cody Gable with 33, Victoria Loria up to 104 now. Nice job, Vic. That worked over the weekend. Miss Ibelwood on vacation in the Smoky Mountains over the 100 mark at 113. Josh Bosick, 140. Mama Margot, also on vacation, 210 apps there. Tom Ellison, 214 families protected in 2023. And lovely bride, main stage page with 227. So nice job, everybody. Know we got some people right there on the cusp of getting onto this board with their 20 apps. So love to see a couple more names on here in the next few months, and excited to kick this off all fresh again in 2024.
All right, so Durgan Base Shop for the week. We've got Siobhan writing 1 app for 633 APV. We've got myself, 2 apps for 2508, and Victoria Loria coming in number 1, 2 apps for 2,975. Awesome job. It's the ladies week representing for 5 apps, total of 6,116.76. So far for the month of October, I guess as of the month of October, 10 unique writers, 47 applications, 55,131 APV for the Durgan side. Let's see what Ellison's up to.
On the Ellison Base Shop, wow, Tommy Boy, your team kicking some butt this week. So for the week of 10/21, total of 19 applications. That's Ibelwood with 2 apps for 1,697 APV. Josh Bostic leading the app count with 10 apps, 9,754 APV. And there's Tommy Boy with 7 apps, 11,480 APV. That's a total. Nice. That's a total of 22,932 for the week. Wrapping up October with 6 unique writers, 2 brand new writers, 56 applications for a total of $57,416 in APV. Nice job, Ellison Base Shop.
Looks like Tom's going to be added to that 10.
He's got a cube coming his way, doesn't he?
Yep, looks like it. Congrats, you guys. Excellent week. And that's just a week, which is pretty cool. Our future AOs, so our teams that wrote business as a unit, if you will. We've got Team Ellison with 3 writers, 22,932 for the week. Awesome job. Road to ownership. Now this next slide is going to be kind of fun. We just added these in. So what does it mean to be an agency owner, right? Agency owner means that you sign a new contract. We are the only company in the insurance industry that does this, where when you get to a point where you are issue paying $30,000 in business total, not just individually, but as a team, and you've got 5 other people on your team, so 6 total, including yourself, writing business 3 months in a row, 30,000, 3 months in a row with 6 people total, including you. That means that you have hit agency owner status. Corporate then sends you a new contract, you sign it, and you now own that business. So if something happens to you, that stays in your family. It's not absorbed back into the company to be redistributed. It is your business. And you can do that just for earning it. It's not something you buy. There's no franchise fees. That's it. You have to earn it. And ultimately here, this stays in your family forever. It becomes a passive income stream. And the only cost to that, again, is an insurance license. So that means you get your license, you follow the system that we have here, and eventually you work up to that point of being an agency owner. I did it after 14 months being here. Tom did it after, I think, just about the same 14, 15 months of being here. And it's possible for any time frame, right? I think the earliest you can do it is 8 months, and the longest, right? It just depends on you and what your goals are. But that's all it takes, is just following the system, getting to the point to where you earn your own business. This stays in your family. It's your legacy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool opportunity. We're one of the only in America that allows, like, that offers this opportunity to be where it's at and as profitable as it is. And we are the only company in the insurance industry that actually signs over your agency to you when that time comes. What's the fastest way to becoming an agency owner, Hunter?
Well, it starts with recruiting, right? It's always, there's always the argument, is it more production or more people? And I think Danny Young a couple of weeks ago basically put the stamp on that and said more people is the path. So step one, send this text out to everyone that you know. Hey, I just went to work for this company part-time, making an extra $1,500 to $2,000 a month. They're currently hiring, and it doesn't interfere with any work schedules. Do you know anyone looking for something part-time? Now, this message is extremely effective because of the wording, right? It's very intentional. We're not hitting people up saying, hey, why don't you come work with me? We're saying, who do you know that might be interested in this? And what ends up happening, somebody sees this, they think about it for a few days and say, well, I know me. I'd like to make a little extra money. Tell me a little bit more about it. When they respond to that, here's the great part about this. We work this as a team. If you're brand new, you're sharing this opportunity with people, you probably feel like you don't know enough, right, to bring somebody else on board. You want to kind of learn the system and train them. But now is the best time to start building that team. So when they respond, what do? Text Paige. There's her number. We'll get my number up there next week. You can also text me. Text Tom. Reach out to your upline and say, hey, I have somebody who's interested. Will you help me talk to them? Get on the phone, introduce your upline, introduce your agency owner to your recruit, to your prospect, and let them teach about the business. Let them show this opportunity to those people.
Lost you, Hunter.
I know we didn't.
Can you hear me now?
I could hear you the whole time. Tom, I lost you. No.
Okay, sorry, Tom.
The reason my number's on there is I have an actual like system to this. So once you have this first text out, and again, it's just people you know, right? Who do you know that might be looking for a position? And $1,500 to $2,000 a month in extra income is a policy or two, right? That's all it takes. So this is an opportunity, again, that's open to anybody. We are hiring. We have more leads than agents to work. So if building a business is something that's on your radar, if that's something that you ultimately want, you can start now. You don't have to be in pre-licensing, or you don't even have to be past pre-licensing. You can be there. This could be your very first call ever. And if this is something that you want, the sooner you get started on it, the more you build momentum. We've got multiple people right now in pre-licensing that already have other people in pre-licensing with them. And the best way to solve any problems in this business is having more people to do this with. So jump out of your comfort zone, send this out to those that you know, and just see who else is looking. Don't prejudge people. That was one thing that I made a mistake of doing in the very beginning was, oh, well, they seem really successful. They seem like they're having the best time. They seem like they love their life. But most people have either time or money. They don't have both. And that's what we offer here, the opportunity to have both. So take that message, take a screenshot of it, type it out, send it out. As soon as you get a response, shoot me a message. I'm going to send you what to say next, step by step. It's just copying and pasting. And then we're going to get them on the phone with either myself or your upline. And we do the talking from there. Like Hunter said, it's not up to you to explain this business. In fact, we encourage you not to. You don't know what you don't know. Don't worry about like being the person that explains everything to your friends and family. Lean on someone else to do that so that it's not all on you. That's what we're here for. So that's how you do it. Spending no money on recruiting. Get started now. Ways to connect here. So we do have our Miller virtual Zoom office available. We also have the Jensen Discord workroom that's available. These are encouraged, you guys. You can come in here. You can listen to other leaders dial. You can just dial in there by yourself if you want to, or invite others to come work with you. I know that when I was getting into the dialing and wasn't very good at it yet, I was really, really enjoying the opportunities to work with other people. You know, hearing veterans get the same rejection that I was getting, hearing people go through the same dial numbers as me, and just seeing that it's not all me, right? I'm not the only one struggling here. This is something that we all work through together. And it's better than doing this alone at your kitchen table. So come work together here. That's what this is for. Those who do that tend to crush their learning curves that much faster. So with that, I'm going to stop screen sharing really quick, and we're going to switch gears here to our topics of today. Oops, going to close that down. We've got a couple of fun things we want to talk about today, and actually we're going to get down to the basics here again. For those that have been in Summit already, and if you've been here for a minute, this is going to probably sound familiar, but it's something, if you ever find yourself in a mental funk, right? Who here has, whether you've been here for a minute or not, found yourself in a position where you're thinking, I don't know if I can do this. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Anybody felt that way before?
All the time. And one of the cool things about what we're going to...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the cool thing we're going to talk about today is just how to pull yourself out of that. And the nice part is it's so much simpler than we tend to make it out to be. The great thing about kind of falling back to these core principles, these core techniques, is that anytime your business is not doing what you hope it would do, whether you're not booking enough appointments, whether you're not closing down enough clients, whether you're not seeing the APV that you want, every time you go to your upline, these are the 4 things they're going to ask you about. And if you can master these 4 things, that's going to put you on the path to success.
So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to go through this. Trying to share just part of my screen. Okay. Can we see 4 cornerstones?
Yes, we are looking good.
All right. So
go ahead.
This game, 99% mental, right? Working for yourself requires a lot more discipline and self-control than most realize. You know, it's one thing coming in and learning about insurance. It's one thing coming in and figuring out how to quote, what the carriers are like, right? How to communicate with that, how to risk assess. It's one thing to do that, and you're learning like a new language when it comes to getting your license. But what many overlook is the mental side of this. And that's where most don't succeed. And so we're going to go over ways of pushing through that and what you need in order to really, really win here. Okay. So there will come a time in this business when you struggle. There will come a time, again, where it feels harder than you thought, when it takes longer than you thought, when you start comparing yourself to others, when you get into your head and start listening to that little voice of doubt that says, you can't do this. It's not for you. This doesn't work. That's called the pit of despair. And the bad news is you're going to hit it from time to time, right? Maybe you're in it right now. Maybe. But the good news is how long you stay in the pit of despair is 100% up to you. You are the only one who can pull yourself out of it. But we're going to give you the resources to be able to do that. You're going to have everything you need to pull yourself right out of it and move on, break through that wall, and reach that next level of progress. And it's actually quite simple. So first things first, the cornerstones of success. Hunter, take it away with number 1.
Yeah. Number 1 is belief. And before we dive too far into this, I really want to highlight something that Paige was just saying there about the pit of despair, and that you are going to hit it from time to time. This is not a one-time fix. This isn't one hurdle that you jump over and then you're smooth sailing the rest of the way. Every new level that you arrive at, every new promotion you achieve, every new level of leadership is going to bring new challenges. and you're going to hit that pit of despair with every new challenge at some point. Trust me, we've been there, we know. And so this is something that, it's not a use once and move on, but rather a set of tools in your box that allow you to, when you hit those moments of frustration, when you feel like quitting, to fall back on, remind yourself of, and be able to get that momentum going again. So number one cornerstone here is belief. And we all know that if you don't believe in the system, if you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in the company, you're not going to take the appropriate steps to achieve your success. Now, how do you build that belief, right? Because in the very beginning, as Paige said, you don't know what you don't know. And it's going to take some time for you to really understand the system that you're working in. The good news is we have an agency, we have an organization, we have an entire network that allows you to borrow that belief. So how do you build it? Number one, plugging in. You're all doing a great job with that right now, being here with us and taking positive steps, seeing other people's success and knowing that we all came from similar places too. We all had similar struggles to overcome. And so building that belief, seeing others do it is step one in really knowing that you can too. Number two, virtual workroom. We talked about the Miller office. We talked about the Discord room. Being able to work with others. Again, as Paige said, hearing experienced people get the same objections and the same shutdowns that you're hearing, and understanding that, like everything else, this is just an exercise. It's something that you do repeatedly, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Number three is owning what you sell. I can tell you that for both Paige and I, our level of confidence in being able to represent these policies to potential clients skyrocketed once we had policies on ourselves, right? We believe in the importance of life insurance, and we put our money where our mouths are by having policies to provide the same protection for ourselves and for our family that we represent to others, okay? Number four, helping your warm market. Quick show of hands, who here has had a friend, a relative, somebody reach out to them when they said they were doing life insurance and say something along the lines of, oh yeah, I should probably look into that. I know I have. And the number of, what's that?
It's in me for sure.
For sure. And I can tell you in my own personal experience, I've probably followed through on about 10 to 15% of the people in my warm market who have made that comment to me. And that's not a very good feeling. But by, the few people that I have helped have led to more clients, right? Helping a friend led to her saying, oh, hey, I've got this other friend that's looking into that. Right now, I'm working with two guys that I just met on a river trip a month ago, putting plans into place for their children. So letting people know, being visible, not being a secret agent, letting people know what you're doing is going to attract people to you as potential clients. You get a deposit when you sell on yourself, on your family or friends, right? That's money in the bank, just as if they came from a lead. Deposits help everyone with belief. You want to believe that this works, bank account is the way to see it successful. And then lastly, it's free commissions on warm market. And a lot of people will fold those leads or fold those into the leads to offset costs. Social media, again, goes a long way, not just with recruiting and building your agency, but with drawing people to you, letting them know what you're doing and letting them know that you can help them as well.
Don't be a secret agent. Share that you do this. This is important. And I know that if something were to happen to someone that I know and love, and I didn't take one step to try to protect them, I would feel awful, right? I have the tools to be able to protect people from financial turmoil right? Like when those times come, it's terrible. You go through a lot. And one thing that we can avoid people going through is the financial stress of losing somebody. So I've got the tools. Everyone on here has the tools to be able to help their family and friends. Use them, right? Don't force it on people, but share what you're doing. Share what you can do for people. And you'll be surprised who actually needs it and reaches out to you. So absolutely, belief. Second one is massive action, constant correction. Or I'm actually going to circle back to this at the end because this is going to tie into the second part, which is our 4 keys to a successful week. So I'm going to circle back to this and go on to commitment to self-improvement ongoing. Now, this is an aspect that's often missed here. And it's because it's not a technical thing, right? Again, you're not learning about the insurance verbiage. You're not learning how to quote. You're not, right? That's not what's folded in here. It's about working on yourself. It's about reading things that have nothing to do with insurance. It's about reading things that have to do with mindset, things about manifestation, like what we're reading together on our coffee talks. It's about actually working on yourself more than your business. Be a student of the business, be a student of improving yourself. And this is going to help you and your career here skyrocket. Where most people kind of hit a ceiling is when they stop developing or when they haven't really put the time into that and they've grown as big as they are. In order to get further than that, you have to grow beyond that. So work on yourself. That's why that's number one. Second aspect is be a student of the business. Get really, really good at your trade. You have endless resources here on HQ that give you everything you need to know, right? Whether you want to be a professional at Critical Period, if you want to be a professional at mortgage protection, at general life insurance, if you want to get into annuities, if you want to get into debt-free life, you can be a professional at anything here. So become a student of that. Take time to get really, really good at your craft so that you can help more and more people. That's going to help your confidence too. Third aspect of this, plug into everything, right? This is the top priority. It's important to be present. It's important to be there because you're going to hear something, whether it's on this call, whether it's on a call later this week, you're going to hear something that you needed to hear to flip a switch in your mind. That's what these calls are for. We're hearing from the best of the best. We're learning tips and tricks to success, right? Some shortcuts. And so give yourself that opportunity. I know Danny Young always says that if you want to change your life, go to conference. If you want to change your life, plug into these calls too. If you don't. But at least you're setting yourself up for the opportunity for that to happen by being here. If you don't go, if you don't attend, you don't plug in, you already know what's going to happen, right? Things are going to stay the same. So be around those that are already winning, and you're going to start winning too. Adapt quickly. Ask the right questions. What do I do next? What can I do next? Embrace change. This is ever evolving. That's going to be the theme here, right? Everything changes all the time, but it's about keeping up. It's about keeping the right mindset, asking, what do I do next? And staying on course. Okay. Mindset's going to be huge here if you haven't picked that up already. Last but not least, take responsibility for your life. Embrace the hardships, embrace the struggle. They're going to build character, right? That's what makes this a unique opportunity. You're growing, you're overcoming, you're excelling. And that's where the fulfillment comes in further than just a career, right? You're growing yourself. You're becoming a better person. You're building financial stability for your family. You're building both time and money. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Everything worth having is hard work. So embrace that. Take responsibility for where you are and where you're going. Put your head down, plug in, and you're going to get there. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
That's so good, Paige. You know, one of the things that I think I didn't truly appreciate about self-improvement and personal development coming in here was that, you know, it's a 24-hour a day, 365-day a year commitment. It's a job, right? And reading is great. You know, the podcasts that are out there, everything that's available out there is amazing. But it's really this number 3 that helped me understand the value of personal development, personal development, and that's associating with the right people. You know, we beat this phrase to death, but we do it because it's so true. If you hang around with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th, right? So it's important to be around the people who are already winning. And Danny Young asks a great question. He says, who are people in your life that would lead you to improvement if you spent more time around them? And conversely, who are the people in your life that would lead you to improvement if you spent less time around them? Right? Who are the people, what are the habits that are holding you back from becoming who you want to be? And that's where association, I think, really gives us the opportunity to see what is possible here. You know, when Paige first started at Symmetry and I was kind of watching from the outside before I got involved, I could not wrap my head around just the scope and impact of what this company, this career, you know, this business was going to mean to us. I couldn't see it, right? There was no concept of that. But by spending time around John Ziller and Dave Lappin and really the people who have found success in this business, I slowly began to understand, Ryan Miller, another one, began to understand that this was a lot more than just a job. This was the sort of thing that had the power to massively impact our lives in a positive way. And in order to realize that, we were going to have to become the sort of people that we weren't capable of being early on. And that's where the growth came in. And it was really being around, the Marshall Whalens and the John Zillers and these people who have walked this road before, that all of that growth and all of that success came to be put into context, right? So in terms of that association, constantly communicating with your mentor, and not just about your business. Every conversation with your mentor doesn't have to be about numbers, right? Sometimes it's just, you need a little bit of reassurance. I know the other day we were having a bit of a rough morning here in the Durgan household, and I called up John Ziller, and we didn't talk about insurance at all. We were probably on the phone 15, 20 minutes. The word insurance was never mentioned, but it was being able to talk to somebody who understood kind of where we were at in life, not just in business, and was able to kind of provide me with that reassurance. And, it's again, to use another Danny Youngism, going broke in this business is like starving in a grocery store. Well, not using the resources that you have available to you in terms of the human resources, the people resources that are here and willing and ready to pour into you and help you find that success, it's just like leaving free money on the table, right? So constantly be reaching out, be reaching up, be associating with those people, get to those live events if you can, if you're anywhere close, get to those live events and see how just being around that level of positivity makes you believe even more so in yourself, in this process, and in what you can achieve here. And then lastly, with association, have a positive attitude, right? It's kind of like that. I had a math teacher back in junior high who said, she was teaching us about adding positive and negative numbers. And she said, if you're having a bad day, if you're in a negative frame of mind and you go hang out with another negative person, well, then you just kind of, you add to each other and you keep taking yourselves down and down and down. But when you're negative and you add yourself to somebody who has positivity, they're going to lift you back up. And that's the same thing with having a positive attitude. Association can take you from that doom and gloom, right, that pit of despair, and raise you back up to the mindset of looking at this business positively and doing what you need to do to carry yourself forward.
Yeah. And notice up until now, we haven't even really talked about insurance. These are all mindset tools. And when you find yourself in that pit of despair, look back at these 4 cornerstones and think, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I haven't been focusing on? Because that's where we are, right? That's what's causing this situation right now, this pit of despair. And so the last thing here is mindset and motivation and progress are always going to be improved through massive action, constant correction. So that's our number 2. And I saved this for last because this is going to tie into our next aspect here of the 4 keys to a successful week. So if you find that you're not achieving the financial success that's available here, people are winning, right? Tune into the national call on Wednesdays and you'll see those leaderboards. People are winning here. Every single team has leaderboards of people doing this and doing this well. It's not a secret that this works. If it's not working for you, you're missing one of these 4 things. A lot of times it's number 2, right? It's doing the proper activity. Treating this like a hobby is going to pay you like a hobby. Treating it like a full-time job, it's going to pay you like a full-time job. And you put that mindset and activity to work long enough, it's going to start paying you more than a full-time job. And pretty soon you're going to be working, deposit to working, deposit. That's how this shifts. But we got to get there first. So how do you do it? Got to do the dials, right? 200 to 300 dials a week. Now, I say that with a caveat because a common misconception is, oh, I hit my 200 dials, I hit my 300 dials, I'm done, right? That's it. I did what I'm supposed to do. I'm done. But what's missed is number 2, setting the minimum of 12 to 15 appointments per week. What we want to shift is not so much hitting the dial numbers, hitting the appointment numbers, dialing until, because you have to have enough appointments to sit with enough people to write enough business. Generally speaking, for brand new agents, we're looking at like 50%. So 50% show rate. You book 12 appointments, you're probably going to sit with 6 of them. If not, we know there's an opportunity for improvement there. How can we sit with more people? But if you're hitting that metric, great, you're sitting with 6 people. You're probably going to be writing on half of them. That's what we see here, right? So you're going to be writing on 3 of them. The average commission, the average deposit earned is between $600 to $800 per sale. So if you're writing on 3, that's $1,800 in your bank account on a weekly basis just by hitting that appointment goal. But if you're dialing 300 dials, booking 4 appointments, you're only setting yourself up to talk to 2 people, maybe writing on 1 of them. You see where that kind of that delays our progress here? So set yourself up right to get with enough people every single week, and you will not fail. That's where we miss the boat here a lot of times is, are you sitting with 12 people? Are you sitting with 6 people? Are you booking 15 appointments so you get in front of 7 or 8 people? That's where it's at, okay? If you're not hitting those numbers, seek counsel. Reach out to your upline. Reach out to your mentor. Reach out to someone on this call who is doing that, who you're seeing writing business every week, and ask them, what should I be doing? What am I missing here? These are my numbers. This is what my dials look like. This is what my appointments look like. This is what my show rate looks like. What am I missing? That's how you correct, right? That's where the constant correction piece comes in. Evaluating your business, knowing where you are, and knowing where you need to be. Okay. Last is sharing the opportunity with others. We've kind of honed in on this already here on this call, so we won't dive into it too much, but building up that side of the business too, building momentum in both areas. It's going to continue to keep the train going, and it's going to keep going faster and faster the more you put into it now. So with that,
Paige, if I can jump in here really quick too, this, as we were going through and preparing for this call, I was thinking about a book that I read years ago called Outliers. And if anyone's ever read Malcolm Gladwell, you know that he is a very insightful guy. And in Outliers, he talks about the 10,000 hour rule. And he uses several examples across business, sports, technology of instances where people became exceptional in their field only after putting in 10,000 hours of dedicated work to it. So if you want to look at massive action, constant correction as something that has a goal in mind, think about this. The person who gets to 10,000 hours faster is the one who does more activity now. And hitting that 10,000 hour mark, kind of metaphorically in this business, but hitting that mark is what gets you the opportunity to become an expert in this business. So just wanted to insert that, Paige.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's up to you how quickly you get through that. And that's why massive action is in there. Getting a lot in the beginning, you won't have to be at that level forever. You're going to get good faster. So I saw some questions in the chat. This next section is going to go over that. So on that note of resources, right? You got to have enough leads to be able to dial enough, to be able to book enough appointments. And the system is you get new leads every single week. You have to keep refilling the funnel so that you can keep working it, right? Another misconception that agents have is they get leads one week. Maybe they don't book enough appointments. Maybe they don't write any business. So they think, I'm not going to buy leads the second week. I'm going to keep dialing this first batch until I sell something. That's not going to work. We have to have momentum. And the successful agents here with a full budget come in being ready to spend $250 to $500 per week on leads, no matter what. And that's B1s, B2s, B3s, whatever it is, but get at least $250 to $500 a week, depending on what you want to do. The more you spend, the faster you get through this. That's just how this business works at first. But consistency is where it's at. Saying, I'm going to spend $250 a week, come hell or high water, every single week this month. I'm going to dial my leads that I get, right? I'm going to dial through them every single day. I'm going to get resolution. I'm going to get a hold of as many as I can, because I know if I just talk to enough people, I'm going to find the yeses in there. They're in there. It's not a matter of if, they're in there. It's just you got to find them. I liken this to like a deck of cards. You get your stack, you flip over every card. You're just looking for the face cards. You're not trying to make people interested. You're not trying to strong arm people into an appointment. You're just looking for the yeses. And you have to flip over every card to know if it's a face card. So when you run low on your stack, you got to get a new deck. Put that in there. All right, next deck. It's a new week. I'm going to keep flipping through. I'm going to look at the old deck too, make sure I get a hold of everybody there. But I'm just going to keep looking for those face cards. They're in there. Okay. Some are a 10 that you think is a jack, but it's a 10, but it's okay. You got to keep flipping them over till you find out who are the yeses. That's the big thing, right? Get through your activity, re-up on resources every single week. Hunter, you want to talk about schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. This, I think, is probably the biggest challenge for a lot of people coming in here, particularly from from a traditional job, right? We're used to having a boss who says work starts at 9, ends at 5. You get a half-hour lunch break, and in between, we expect you to be doing your job. I know that was my life for for a lot of years. All of a sudden, you find yourself as your own boss, and you have an entire day, an entire week, an entire month in which to accomplish this activity. And it's amazing how frequently, when you talk to somebody who's not seeing the success that they want, that it comes down to this. They have not taken the time to create a thoughtful and meaningful schedule that they then follow week in and week out. Now, for those of you who are struggling with this, I highly encourage you to go back to Summit and go back through Ashley Harris's training on the Ivy Lee method, because that's going to show you a proven system to schedule not just your business, but your life around the priorities of both your family, your recreation and your business. But making sure that you have a consistent schedule, you let your calendar be your boss, and that's going to show you, okay, this is how much time you have in the week. Now, how much time are we going to allot to dialing? How much time are we going to allot to appointments? If you're building, how much time are we allotting to recruiting and to interviewing and those calls? But having that schedule and sticking to it gives you the accountability to be able to say, nope, it's Tuesday at 9 a.m. This is my dial time, doors closed, computers up, and we are calling leads at this time. Promise you, if you don't take time to thoughtfully create your schedule, chaos will absolutely ensue. And I am a perfect case in point in that. Definitely, with your schedule, again, put everything in it. Family time, your other job, calls, right? There are only 3 or 4 calls we recommend you being on consistently. This one, the national call, the base shop, perhaps the Wayland call, right? Being on that consistently, making sure that, you're getting that association aspect, that inspiration aspect as well. You've got your dial time, you've got your appointment time on there. You've got time to reach out to your warm market. Schedule time to go make yourself something to eat in the middle of the day, Paige, right? The number of times early on when I would come home from my other job and Paige would be sitting there dialing just with this look of horror on her face and realize, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and she hasn't eaten anything all day because she didn't schedule herself any time to go make some food. So I just encourage everybody to be very, very thoughtful, right, about your schedule, what you put on it, and then stick to it. And the cool part about the schedule is it does not, the first schedule you write will not be your schedule forever. In fact, you'll probably write your first schedule, do it for a week, maybe 2, realize that you can be a little more efficient here. You'll make an adjustment for the next week. And that's great. That's that constant correction aspect, right? Of constantly assessing what is working, what is not, and what do I have to do to get myself back on track here.
Mm-hmm. And if you're doing all these things and you still find you're struggling with mindset, it's probably because you're hangry. So yeah, definitely schedule lunch and dinner in there. But yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Don't overthink it. Don't think it's got to be perfect before you implement it. Get those things on there. Get your big rocks, as they call it, those non-negotiables on the schedule, and everything else will fill in between. Book it out, put it on there, get a visual going, and you'll see this isn't as overwhelming as you feel like it is.
Yeah, and the last thing.
Go ahead.
The last thing I'll say on schedule, if you find yourself putting a schedule together and just having a tough time sticking to it, give yourself an accountability buddy. Start posting every morning on Discord when you're going to be dialing, and then get in the dial room and do that where other people can see you. I've started doing that recently, and I tell you what, I dial a lot more now that I've kind of put that out there and everybody knows what I'm doing. I'm making myself visible. So if you want help holding yourself accountable to your schedule, tell everyone else about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And the last aspect of 4 keys to a successful week is system. Utilize the tools that are available to you. We have scripts for everything, right? You have the right information that you need. You just have to say the words. You have to get good at saying the words. We have summit training that help you with everything in between, learning the scripts, learning the process, learning all of the little things you need to know, also giving you extra resources for mindset and all of that. You have what you need. You have the roadmap with Summit. Training calls, these ones, right? The master call, the national call, the base shop call. There's also a ton of recordings in Discord covering everything. So use that to learn and to become a better student of the business. Equip yourself with the knowledge that you can here. Mentor, reach out to them. Don't expect your mentor to reach out to you. It's, again, your responsibility. Your success here is your responsibility. It feels a lot better when you win, knowing that you took it into your own hands versus relying on someone else to make you win. That's not going to be long lasting. So reach out to your mentor. You're never bothering them. If you're reaching out to Vic saying, hey, Vic, what's next? I'm ready for my next step. She's going to be so pumped to be able to help you versus saying, hey, are you ready for your next step? Right? It's a different conversation. Take control, reach out, know that your success is in your own hands, and follow the 4 cornerstones, the ones we just discussed. As long as you're going through every week, making sure that you're checking off all these boxes, you've got the mindset, you've got the belief, you're plugging into the calls, you're getting your leads every week, you're dialing them, you will not fail. It's impossible. It's just a matter of time. Okay. So to wrap this up, you guys, I know we're right at time. I want to leave everyone with this. I'm going to stop sharing so that it's not in my face here. So everybody here is going to go through the pit of despair. In fact, there's 4 phases that you're going to go through. So you'll be able to recognize it now when you're there. First phase is the excitement phase. I wish I'd heard this when I first started. You're going to be excited, right? Maybe some of you were there. You're brand new. You're pumped. This is a new opportunity, promise of a whole new life. It's exciting. It is. You're going to eventually go from that to the struggle and frustration phase. You're going to struggle, right? Everyone on here probably has struggled at some point in their life, whether it's in the pre-licensing course, whether it's in the dial training, whether it's wherever you are. I struggle on a regular basis as well. And I'm past that learning curve. I'm just on another one. That's it, right? You're going to be there. And that's going to lead you to the third phase, which is the quitting phase, AKA the pit of despair, where you're questioning everything about yourself and this opportunity and what's possible. But the thing is by using these tools, by using the 4 cornerstones, by then using the 4 keys to a successful week every single week, you're going to push through that quitting phase and you're going to hit the success and resolve phase. You have to go through the first 3 to get to the last one. There's no skipping. You don't go from excitement to success. It doesn't work that way. You have to go through each one. But know this. Put this on your wall even so you remember it when it's there, right? The 4 phases. Put that on your wall so that you know. You have to go through each one. When you're in the quitting phase, identify, okay, yep, I've struggled enough. Now I want to quit. I see that. But if I'm here long enough, if I put in the activity, if I keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not going to stay here forever. In fact, my time here will be a lot shorter because you're going to push through that wall, that barrier. You're going to have that light bulb moment where you're like, yes, I got this. I figured this out. I knew I could. Your breakthrough is right around the corner. And that quitting phase means that you're even closer. So with that, you guys, have an awesome Monday. Have an awesome week. Happy November in Symmetry Land. Have a safe Halloween. And we'll see you guys on here. We're going to be hanging out in the Discord office throughout the day. The dial training is going to be happening with Natasha today at 4 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, have a good one, y'all. See you then.
Bye, y'all.